This week's Carpool Conversations, I have a man who I've wanted to get in the car for quite a while. He is a household name as far as business in Ireland. He's an incredible entrepreneur, business owner, and hugely successful CEO. He's got a lot of experience and a lot of nuggets to share. So I'm really excited to have in the car with me today. Well, Bobby Kerr, thanks for joining me for Carpool Conversations.
Good to be here.
Entrepreneurial, to say the least. Take us back. When did you first realise you had that entrepreneurial bug or mindset?
This may sound surprising, but I didn't ever think I really had it.
Really?
I thought about maybe when I found what I truly loved, which was the coffee business.
Yeah.
And when I left, I was the managing director in Bewley's for a number of years. A big organisation back then.
Big time.
And I kind of ran out of road. I loved it, loved all I did there, but was finding that I was unfulfilled.
Right.
Finding that I really felt that I was not in control of my own destiny. And I was working with a product and a service that I loved. So once I decided I was going to leave Bewley's, I was 39 years of age.
Wow.
And then I went out from running this business that employed 800 people to being just me and finding a site and starting with one shop. And then when I made that switch from being the CEO at 39, my fourth daughter had just been born, so I had a lot of responsibilities. I had a big mortgage, and I said, I'm going to do this. I had been watching what was happening in the UK, in the US, in Europe with Starbucks. I saw what they were doing. I saw really that the new way of coffee was in a much smaller square footage place. It was all espresso based drinks. It was all takeout cups. Takeout cups in the 90s didn't exist.
No. You
had these horrible polystyrene cups. My vision was quite simple, that if I could embrace this kind of new way of coffee, and also good sandwiches and other things around that.
So you had a vision?
I did have a vision. It was kind of crude, but I did have one.
And did you think it was going to go to where it was?
No, my first business plan had 20 shops. I remember doing the spreadsheets. I did them myself. And I did shop 1 to 20.
Amazing.
Over a period of 10 years. And so that was my vision. Now, by the time I exited Insomnia in 2018, we had 200 shops and we had 500-600 Spar locations. So it grew way beyond anything I ever thought it was going to grow.
What was the hardest scaling point? Because scaling is sometimes the biggest thing I've seen with clients, that that's the wall.
Right.
How do I go to the next?
So it's interesting you say that. My first 5 shops were called Perk. That was my first business.
Perk.
Pre-Insomnia. I had one in Grafton Street, one in Dawson Street, one in Bagot Street, and I had 2 up in UCD. And by the time I got to 5 shops, I had no management. I had a part-time accountant that I used to go down to once a month with bags full of invoices. And I had no structure, so it was me. And I could manage those 5 shops myself.
No problem.
Pretty much. I couldn't really manage anything beyond that. I could be at every dog fight with 5 shops. With 17, there was me and Harry and a couple of more of us and then we were in a position where we
go all the way.
We scaled from there.
Amazing. Was there one thing you learned from the hospitality back in the days of Bewley's even, or is there one thing that you learned that always stuck?
So I grew up in hospitality. My father was a hotelier.
Yes, right.
And he basically worked 7 days a week for 11 months of the year. He used to take the month of July off.
Wow.
And then he worked 7 days so I saw what I saw. I was no stranger to the fact that it was hard work. So I knew getting into it that it was an hour's game. They say you're only as good as your last meal. That's so true.
Wow.
And you're always one step from disaster. That's another thing that I've learned over the years. And I think you'll notice that fear is a driver. You just have to manage it.
Just make sure it's
you can make it. It can be a powerful driver if it's handled in the right way.
I always think fear is like a tiger. You know what it's capable of, but you need to have some sort of cage.
Sure.
What's the biggest mistake that maybe you made or you've seen business owners make that is something that could have been avoided?
Well, The most common mistake that I've seen is businesses running out of cash.
Cash.
Profitable businesses, you know, so that just didn't have the finances that they needed in place.
Is it they're not watching the finances, or they're misusing the finances?
Well,
misspending.
Sometimes they get carried away with growth, and they don't have the finances in place to deal with the growth. I.e., they open too many shops when they don't have the capital to open them.
They go too fast.
And they think they can fund them out of cash flow that maybe isn't there for whatever reason.
One of the biggest lessons you learned from one of the hardest things you've ever gone through?
I had cancer in 2015, 10 years ago. I got head and neck cancer. Somebody was very healthy, very active, and it changed my world.
Wow.
I nearly didn't make it through. I had to again, my partners at the time in the business couldn't have been better. They allowed me go away for 6 months.
Wow.
And try and get better. But I learned 3 things. That there are only 3 things that matter in life, and I live by this to this day. They're your health, your friends, and your family.
Oh,
nothing else matters.
That's it. A lot of us, and myself included, it's only when you're in that difficult space, that, you know, circumstance, situation, you actually are forced to evaluate, actually, you know, a lot of the stuff I've been worrying about doesn't actually matter. What does matter are those 3 things.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I learned that the hard way when I was in my 20s, and I think, yeah, completely get it. What's one of your drive time songs? So when Bobby Kerr wants to chill out, go for a drive, or just relax, what would the song be?
I think this is one of the greatest driving songs of all time.
Oh, I love it.
It's called LA Woman, and it's by The Doors.
So this is when your after show's done, car's on, tunes on,
Yeah.
and away we go. Oh, that's good, Bobby. I like it, Bobby. So what is one of Bobby Kerr's pet hates?
I hate meanness, and I hate people who are not generous. I
Tight,
think
stingy.
it's tight, stingy,
Yeah. Wouldn't buy you a coffee.
doesn't share stuff. I really hate that as a trait. Somebody who's mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Why
Okay.
you wouldn't share whatever you have.
Yeah.
Because I just think there's a great joy in sharing, even if you don't have much.
I agree. Interesting. They did a study on some of the happiest people on Earth, and they found some of the happiest people come from some of the poorest areas. And what makes them so happy is they have this community where they all share and help each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said for it. What advice would you give your 25-year-old self?
Taking the leap to go my own way earlier,
Right.
but I didn't have the confidence.
Yeah. If you had to put a quote on a billboard, top of O'Connell Street or even Times Square, what would the quote be?
When I die, I want to come back as myself.
Oh, I love Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
I wouldn't even know you'd say coffee.
4 cups before 8 a.m.
Oh, lovely. Favourite movie?
School of Rock.
A morning person or a night owl?
Big time morning.
Big
I'm
time.
like, I get up really early every day.
What's early?
Well, I used to get up at 5. Now I get up a bit closer to 7. But I love the pre-9 a.m. hours.
It feels like you get a lot done.
Yeah,
no
well,
distractions. You're ahead of the game.
even if you don't do much, I find that time of the day
Sets you up.
I just really like it.
I'm the same. I think you feel like you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure.
Probably too much chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
What's your favourite meal?
A scallop of veal Milanese with a cream mushroom sauce,
Oh, no.
rosti potato, cream sweet corn.
If you had one tip for a business owner, what would that one tip be?
Work harder than everybody else. And I mean that, you know, sometimes people just don't get in business that you really have to work your nuts off. You just have to. Now, you might only have to do it for 3 years, but there's no business is successful without absolute commitment to hard work, in my view. At least I don't know any.
Well, Bobby, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you
too, Mark.
so much for joining me.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
For Carpool Conversations.
Yeah.